Greetings, diners, and a welcome to another edition of the Cooking Zone here on the Doomstead Diner. And we are done with our diner's 7th anniversary feast and all the preparations and dishes that we cooked up for that last month. And this month, we're back to more normal cooking, or at least normal for people who have in some sense experienced a personal collapse of some sort. Not a global collapse, but perhaps they lost their job, or perhaps they had a disaster in their area, a flood or a wildfire or an earthquake, and have had to leave their home. And now they're on the road in one way or another. So we're doing our cooking again on our collapse bug out / Section 8 housing cooking apparatus, the electric hot plate. And all month I'm going to be doing meals that will fit within the SNAP card budget of, generally speaking, in most states, around $5 a day. And so that works out to about $35 a week. And the goal here is to eat pretty well, eat nutritiously, and have a good balance to your meals. Have some protein, some carbos, and some veggies, vitamins, and so forth. You can supplement, of course, and you should, with at least a multivitamin, and work that into your budget too. So all in all, you want to stay healthy, while at least nutrition-wise, while you are on the road. And so that's what we're going to do. And we'll start out with, of course, breakfast. That's the first meal of the day, and it's going to be the first meal of this exercise. And for breakfast this morning, we're going to go keep it simple and keep it cheap. This is an exceptionally cheap breakfast, and a lot of people wouldn't find it sufficiently satisfying, big enough, whatever. But when you incorporate it in with all the other meals of the day, if you're eating a 3-meal day, then it's going to be plenty to start you off in the morning. I've got to get this thing on. There we go. And for me, it's plenty of food, especially these days. So, what's the breakfast? Well, egg, okay? Not eggs, egg. I'm having just one egg, and the way I'm going to have it this morning is over easy, and I'm going to be putting it on toast that I made from French bread. And here's that. Okay, I hope you can see them. And you can see one of them is covered with cheese and the other one is bare. Okay, now these are smaller pieces of bread than you would get a little bit if you took your bread from the typical commercial loaf of bread. And but they're thicker than the commercial loaf of bread, so they're not that much smaller, really. And I much prefer the fresh baked artisan bread to the commercial bread. So I use it when I can. That's not to say that I don't use the commercial bread too. I do. It works better for some things. So what's going to happen here? Well, the bread with the cheese on it is going to go back in the toaster oven and melt the cheese. And while that's happening, I'm going to be frying this egg and getting it ready to drop on to this slice of the French bread toast. Now, this method is one way of doing it. You can also do it with poached eggs or soft-boiled eggs. They also work well with this method. I'm doing a fried eggs because they're easiest, and also I have something to show you which makes the procedure a whole lot easier, and that is this fellow. Okay, this is one of those TV pans that you know they come on special on TV, and then you can eventually pick them up in the stores too. And it's got 4 little wells in it for your eggs or pancakes or anything else you want to come out nice and round. And it's also got 2 sides to it, so you don't have to flip your eggs in the traditional fashion with this thing. Okay, and now let me get this a little more buttered up. It is pretty well buttered, but a little bit more, or buttered or oiled or whatever. I think I cooked eggs in this yesterday, and I don't, when I do this, unless the pan is really dirty or whatever, I don't bother to wash it. That oil is still good the following day, so I use it again, right? And that saves money. I don't need to use so much butter and oil. And you're seeing that I am also buttering up the top side of the pan, because when the egg is sufficiently done, congealed enough, then I will be flipping the whole pan, okay, like so. And doesn't take any talent, right? Anybody can do that. And you don't bust your egg too often either when you do this, and bust the yolk, which you don't want to do. So it's a great way, or a great tool for cooking your egg. Okay, and we're just about ready, I think, to drop the egg in. Alright, let me get the butter out of the way and crack the egg. And let's hope that I don't bust the yolk when I drop it in, because you can still bust the yolk when you drop it in. And with my crippled arm, I do that on a fairly regular basis. And I did it on this basis, on this one. Take 2. And guess what? Indeed, I broke the yolk. And this is a cooking show, and I want the damn thing to look pretty good. So I'm going to go again, and today I get to eat 2 eggs. Assuming I don't break this one. Oh, yay. I got the whole egg. Fantastic. Okay. I would not have gone to a 3rd egg. If this egg had not gone in well, then you guys would have just been stuck with seeing a couple of broken yolks get flipped over, right? Okay, but it came out, okay? So, as you can see, I don't have the pan that hot. I don't want the egg to crispify. I don't like it that way. So I cook it on a fairly gentle heat. So it cooks, you know, kind of low and slow. And comes out the way that I want it. With the white all congealed, but the yolk still not runny, but you know, kind of a thick liquid that will soak into my bread and just be delicious. So I close the pan, and that helps everything cook evenly. And let's check on it and see how it's doing. And it's congealing very nicely. As you can see, it goes pretty quick. Okay, and it's just about ready to flip over. And boom. And we'll see if we manage to break the yolk on this one, since I whacked the pan on the way over, which you shouldn't do either. But we'll see. No, the yolk is still good. And this looks like it's going to be pretty close to a perfect egg to eat. And on this side, it really doesn't take very long. All you're doing on the opposite side, when you flip over your bread or flip over your egg, is you're cooking that last bit of the top. Okay, if you like your eggs over easy, then you can do this over easy also. Okay, I'm sorry, not over easy, but sunny side. I'm not a big fan of sunny side anymore. I used to like it when I was a kid. And ooh, boy. There you go. The egg is now on top of the bread. Okay. And the next step in the process is getting my cheesy bread out of the toaster oven. And the cheesy bread now has the cheese, which is a Mexican blend, nicely melted on top and ready to eat and nice and warm. Put that on the plate too. And that, folks, is our first breakfast of this month, of our Snap Card month. Very cheap. Less than $1 for this meal, and I'm gonna go and consume it, and we'll be back with another episode. In the next one, I will probably do lunch, okay, and we'll keep it equally cheap. And I'm not going to do one every day, but at the end of the week, I will put up some sample meals, and also our sample costs for the week, and see if we can stay under the Snap Card budget all month, and hopefully have leftover money, so at the end of the month, in the last week, we can eat some premium meals. Alright, that's all the cooking doom this time. Until next time, here on the cooking zone of the Doomstead Diner. See you later, folks. Bye.